Hey everybody, welcome back. So we're in the garage. As you can see, we're not gonna be working in the garage today. I'm still waiting for stuff on the S15, so it's kind of in a standstill currently. But we're gonna be doing something a little different today, and I didn't want to miss a video for you guys, so still wanted to get an upload up. But we're gonna ask, is sim drifting worth it? So we're gonna go upstairs. I'm gonna show you guys my rig first, and show you guys kind of what I'm working with, and we're gonna talk about, is it worth it? Is it worth in this day and age to buy a sim rig with how expensive they're getting? And stay to the end to find out. So let's go check out the rig. This thing's fucking heavy. Oh. Alright, got it. Alright, I'm sure I've showed this before, but this is the setup. Got a Logitech G293. Very simple. It's like the upgraded one that's like 400 bucks on Amazon. Comes with the 3 pedals, wheel, you know, pretty standard. I do have a shifter, but I'll show that after. But this is an Amazon stand. The stands actually make quite the difference, to be honest. I used to bolt it to my desk, but the stand makes all of the difference. I would recommend. I'll show you guys up here. I have, in my closet, I have a Fanatec shifter, like the really good one. Fanatec is just it's annoying. They like only want you to use other Fanatec products. So the adapter, it's like a Ethernet plug-in, and you can't use a random Ethernet plug-in adapter. You have to use the Fanatec one, or else the shifter won't work. And it's like $60, and I'm just a cheap hack that I'm like, ugh, I don't want to spend 60 bucks on a damn USB adapter. I don't want to buy a Fanatec either because they're really expensive. But anyways, let's get this thing bolted up, and then we'll get after it. I gotta warm up a little bit because I'm a little rusty. Okay, so we're on the computer. As you can see, we're hooked up. I'm on Mahon just for a little warm up. I'm in a Church Tucked In S13, sick car. Then to talk about what I have into this base here, into this kind of whole setup, minus the stuff that I showed you that I'm not using. This setup with the stand and the wheels, probably about 500 bucks Canadian, which is a good chunk of money, even for just a simple setup like this. Like, I used to have a handbrake. I bought an Amazon one. I used it for a month. It just stopped working. So those Amazon handbrakes you see for $100, don't buy them. They're junk. Mine crapped out so fast. It was not good. But anyways, we're gonna get into some driving. Oh, let's get comfy here. This car is so cool. Casey's car is so good. All the Church Tucked In cars are amazing. If anybody drifts this corner, they're doing it wrong. Watch any Mahon video. Start there. One thing about these Logitechs, bro, they clunk. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but they clunk like crazy. I have one more lap, and then we'll join some online servers. Hey, let's go. That was a little bit of a heater. Okay, let's go online now. Let's bully some people. Alright, alright, alright. We are in a Gravy Garage server. We are gonna throw down here. There's some people. I want a tandem. I haven't sim drifted in tandem in a minute, so I'm excited. Sim HQ has been like taken over, by the way. I don't know if you guys are seeing this, but LZ's killing it, bro. He's taking over the sim world. Yeah, that was good. That guy spun out all the way. That's what you want to do right there. That stops accidents. Alright, so now that we're in between laps, I got something to talk about. So, for sim drifting, for me, it is so incredibly worth it. It is such a useful tool to me. I don't think I would have ever progressed as fast as I did in drifting. I still have so much to learn, not saying I'm like, got it fully figured out. But I think if I didn't have this tool, it would have definitely slowed me down a lot. This sim drifting helped me make a lot of mistakes so I could learn from them. And for me, where I live in Canada, we have like 6 months off pretty much of the season. That's just, there's nothing for drifting at least, because we have winter, and winter is very harsh here. And it's a lot of people here, what they do is they buy a crappy car to drift in the winter and do winter drifting, which is fine, but it's just, that's even more money, you know? That's just more money to spend on another car you have to upkeep, and it's just this whole thing, right? So I think sim drifting is such a fantastic tool that that anybody can get into, and anybody can just go and drive, and you kind of have the buy once, cry once mentality, right? Where if you buy a really good sim one time, it's just, you're never going to have to touch it. It's going to work. You can just go and drive whenever you want, and I don't know, I think that's kind of the beauty of it. And there's nothing that's ever as good as actual driving and actual seat time, but this will be very good at getting your hand-eye coordination really well, and your when to light off the pedals and how to use the handbrake properly. And for me, the biggest tool this taught me was left foot braking. I think sim drifting has a lot of tools that they teach you that real driving can teach you, but this will teach you at a faster pace, in my opinion. Oh my god, bro, that was a great run. I filled every single zone perfectly. Woo! That was a heater. After the finish line. Okay, so now another break. But to really answer the question that this whole video is about, is sim drifting worth it? And I think that's totally dependent on up to you and your situation with money and cars and all of it. Like, there's a lot of questions into if it's going to benefit you. But I think if you're already driving and you're already drifting, I think it's kind of a given. Like, I feel like in this day and age, you should have a sim, even if it's a simple sim like this one that's $400 or $500, and you can get it cheaper on Marketplace. Like, I bought this one brand new. So that's the other thing, is that you can make it cheap and make it good enough, right? Like, I didn't even know how to do a donut, and I sim drifted for a whole winter, and then this was 2 years ago, and I tried drifting my friend's G35, and I was able to do figure eights after sim drifting. Like, this was before I even really knew. Like, before that winter, I tried to do a donut in my other friend's car in E36, and I couldn't even keep it going. Like, I would just do half a donut and spin out. And I think that is enough of a testament to say that if you're a beginner, it is such a worthwhile to spend the $400 or $500 or whatever you want to spend on sim drifting. Because if you're willing to go drifting and spend thousands of dollars, then I think this tool, spending a couple $100, is super worth it, in my opinion. But also, not everyone's in the same financial position, and I can respect that. Alright, some of you may recognize this place. A buddy of mine sent me this, and it's the LZ compound, so it's pretty cool. I've tried it once before, and it's actually really sick. It's a really fun track. But to get back on the topic of just drifting and sim drifting, is it has a place for the small guy and the big guy, you know? Like, if you are a super beginner into drifting and you just want to dip your toes in, I think sim drifting is a fantastic way to do it. And while you're still kind of saving money or whatever to try and make a drift car happen, I think sim drifting is a fantastic alternative. But also, if you're, say, a pro driver or a semi-pro driver and you're going to these big tracks and you're prepping for a comp, I think sim drifting is a fantastic tool, and doing a lot of hours pre the event. Just putting in hours on sim drifting, because a lot of these tracks on the Assetto Corsa, which is what I'm using, are almost 1-to-1. Like, a lot of these tracks are basically, you are playing this track. It has been 3D scanned to be the size and the width of whatever corner. So I think there's a lot of value that people aren't seeing. But yeah, enough about that. Let's go driving. Figuring out a line here, trying stuff. Oh, pawn drop, fuck! I was going to the tree there. Last track of the day. One of my personal favorites. The E-Town open drift. Tree turn has to be the coolest backy turn in America. I love... This track is so cool and has so many... I think that turn has so much like Japanese influence in a way, and the way people drive it I think is so cool. And I'd love to go drive it one day, but it is very far from me on the opposite side of the continent, plus in another country, so... Hopefully someday, if anybody's watching this with access to a rental at E-Town that can hook me up, drop the comment. But, yeah, we'll see. Whoa, this guy's doing it in reverse. That was just chucked in way too hard. I was rigged to lock, that was sick. Going off. So now, to come down to a conclusion, we just talked about it, but is sim drifting worth it? I think it is pretty simple. People make this huge debate about it. If it is, it isn't, or it is whatever. Yes, it is worth it. I 100,000% think it's worth it. So many people hate on it, but I think a lot of people haven't driven a good setup sim. 'Cause that's the other thing I think not a lot of people talk about is, for even just my sim, it took me a couple weeks, if not like months,
to fully figure out how I'd like my sim to drive, to where I feel like I can step into my S15 and be like, yeah, the driving I did on this was valuable to the driving I do in real life. And I'm very happy to say that I think I found it. I think I found that balance, and I'll drop my settings in the description for all of my my Logitech setup and everything in my Assetto Corsa settings to show how my settings is, and if anybody is having a hard time setting up a Logitech, it can be quite the pain sometimes. So that's, I think, the other thing that scares people away, is that honestly it can really suck sometimes setting up a sim to make it actually feel like you're drifting and not weird and not feel wrong, because a lot of these games aren't really set up for drifting, to be frank, and a lot of people play Car X and stuff like that, but that stuff doesn't feel real, and I don't think any of that really is good translation to real driving, in my opinion. But if you guys have any questions about sim drifting, about drifting in general, or how to get into sim drifting, and what's the way to do it, and what you should download and what you shouldn't download and all that, drop a comment. Totally don't mind helping anybody out if you're new to sim drifting, or if you're new to drifting in general. I'm still pretty newbie to drifting, but I'd like to think that I'm starting to kind of get a grasp on it, and it feels good. I love it. I'm addicted, and you know, no, there's no stopping anytime soon, that's for sure. But either way, I hope you guys enjoyed this different style of video. A little different than what you're used to. I've done one sim drifting video in the past, but I thought this one would have been a better one to kind of show the details and show the behind the scenes of it, and show if it's realistic for most people, and I really think it is. But either way, I hope you have a good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, whatever time you're watching this. And yeah. Peace!